accountability buddy. And what I recommend, and it's not compulsory. It's like the videos. I asked everybody to do a video, but before video, introducing themselves. It's not an instruction. But I strongly recommend it, because the more you kind of just nudge and push your comfort zones, we grow. So an accountability buddy is that you choose a member of the group, or you put in the group a post or a little video and just say, look, between the sessions, I'd like to work with somebody who is, and you describe, for instance, if it was me, between sessions, so from Saturdays to Saturday, it's so that you can have a chat with somebody, you can connect separately, you can forge a separate relationship with somebody else who's in the group, preferably, not essentially, but preferably, who's got complementary skills. So if it was me, I'd say, right, my accountability buddy needs to keep me structured, because I'm full of ideas, full of energy. I can go off on different tangents, and I need to work hard on structure. I've got no problem with implementation, and no problem with taking action, but sometimes I want to take action on everything all at once, and that's like typical initiator. Boom, 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 boom. I want to get everything done. So, and highly extrovert. So somebody who would be a perfect accountability buddy for me in a group, and I am in a mastermind group myself, is somebody who is maybe introverted, a little bit more logical, who can bring me down to earth a little bit, who can take all this action and kind of just guide me if there's any lack of structure, and take all my ideas and help me bring them down to earth. So there's no problem with action. If anything, I need to be sometimes made more organized, right? Because there's all this stuff flying everywhere. Does that make sense? So it's like try and find an accountability buddy that either you make a real connection with, or somebody who is complementary in styles. Right. So let's get going. What I am going to do is I'm now going to share with you my PowerPoint for this morning, because there's some slides I want to take you through to get everything started. Okay, so let's just see if I can do that. Share slides. Open presentation. And you should see a little picture of me at the top of the screen, and you now should see some slides. Could you just tap in that you can see the little slides on there, guys and girls? Thomas says it's pretty. Great. Cool. Okay, so for the time being, you can sit comfortably. VIP, Stressless Sales VIP Inner Circle. I thought when I was doing this in the week, I thought that's a nice little colour scheme there for us, and we'll keep this each week. So you'll have a little picture of me, and you'll have the slides. You've got the chat feed, and you can when it's time, you can say, Paul, can you unmute my mic or whatever. And the more we do this, it's like this morning, everybody's like new to each other. When we did this in the 6-week sessions, it was the same. It's human nature. We're to start with, it's kind of coming on and just sort of listening and engaging. And we've got 8 online. And there may be some more that join in, but in all reality, people who don't know me coming onto my website and buying it at $4.97 or subscribers at $2.48, we're not going to be swamped by 100 people or something. I anticipate that over the course of the year, this group, if it was a real good result from people subscribing, it would be a group of maybe 50. So for now, it's a real cool, intimate group, and you'll get to know each other, and you'll get to be really relaxed. So it's not like joining these webinars, which are not live. It's all recorded, and there's like 1,000 people all around the world, and you don't feel comfortable sharing or whatever. This experience, hopefully, is going to be completely different. And exactly what you signed up for. What else was I going to say? I was going to talk. Oh yeah, I was going to talk a little bit more about structure, but we'll come back onto that. So the legacy of learning, the Inner Circle, 2014-15. This is a 12-month program. You will get the most out of it if you come on live each week and stay for the full session. Avoid it, other than grabbing a coffee or having a toilet break or whatever. You really get the most out of it. And if you if you have an accountability buddy, do the work, post your tasks in the group, the homework, engage with me where you really need to, and fully participate. You will get far more than you ever imagined. Your business will be not only sustainable, but for those of you who've got a business already, you will, sometimes when we have a business, when we first open it and start the business, we're the most in love with it. We're really in love with it. Then that love, there's a honeymoon period, and sometimes that love can fall off a bit, and you'll fall in love with it again. And you'll feel really good about yourself. Even if you already think you do feel good about yourself, you will get that injection authentically, not just motivation. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm more an irritational speaker. You'll get that. You'll also get the tools to, like the real tools, real world tools that are gonna kind of solve your day-to-day problems and give you real armory for when you're talking to potential clients and you know that they need your stuff, but they don't know it yet. And the skills I'm going to teach you are not high-pressure sales skills. They're all kind of obvious, but sometimes the obvious is just hidden in plain sight. We can't see it. So you're going to get your money's worth and a whole lot more. Right, let's get cracking. I want to start with purpose because everything starts with purpose. Simon Sinek, who is on YouTube. If you've heard of Simon Sinek, just type in yes, so I know you have. Simon Sinek, it starts with why. It's the starts with why, and that's a movement. I've always talked about purpose, and we're actually talking about the same thing. This is why we do things. You see, we've got two reasons we start a business. Okay. We start a business on a logical level, okay, because we want to pay the bills, we want to bring money in a commercial world. We want to do so using the skills we've got and to have some work-life balance and not to work for the man and to work for our own goals. Okay, that's what we do. And we want a certain amount of money for the lifestyle we want. So those are the reasons we start a business. But there's a deeper reason, actually. And I always start with that. And Simon Sinek talks about it, and all of the great leaders and persuaders in history have, and philosophers and spiritual people, all of the great leaders, they have a deeper purpose. The money is a result. The income, the accolades, the glory, the houses, the stuff, the cars, the holidays, all that stuff is a result of working and living from purpose. Now, my purpose is stated in one sentence. And I've worked on this for a long time, and it's always evolving, but it's really all around the same thing. Everything I do is focused on helping others to get paid what they are worth for doing what they most love to do in life. That's my purpose. I've missed out a they after what. I should say what they most. See, there's me doing my slides all hastily. I'll just repeat it. Everything I do is focused on helping others, specifically entrepreneurs, actually, specifically, not employed people who have no intention of starting their own business. I can't offer them anything. Those people, I want to help entrepreneurs People who are starting their own business, have their own business, long to start their own business, are just about to. They've had their own business for years and they've fallen out of love with it, whatever. It's to help others who are like me, entrepreneurs like you, to get paid what you're worth for doing what you most love. That is my purpose. Now, if I do that well, you transform. You change, you transform. The feedback, the feeling I get when I see people transforming from me pursuing my purpose, the feeling is beyond words. That is worth more than the money. If it was a uncommercial world, money's irrelevant. It's a man-made invention. It's worth more than the material stuff. For somebody, for one of my group members, for somebody I've helped to say, Paul, do you know, it's really helped. This has made this difference, this difference, this difference. And I bet you're exactly the same at heart. We have to get money in, but really, what you want is to help others in a certain specific way. And it's probably helping them around something you've experienced in your life, and you want to help other people to be able to get through that experience, to inspire them so that they can avoid what you had to go through. Or it's about your real skills that you've got, and your skills can transform or change others. They can change a business. They can solve problems for a person in their life. And when you see those transformations taking place, that feeling of self-esteem, your worth goes up and it makes it all worthwhile. Am I right? Before we think about the money, is that what we're doing it for? I propose that we are on a deep level. But we are so often, we're bombarded by all this shit on Facebook and everywhere. And I'm just getting like, immune to it. Be a multi-millionaire, be a 6 figures income, 7 figures income, be a golden god, in 7 days, whatever. All this get rich stuff. Well, I can't do that because I haven't done that. I haven't got rich off a load of little systems. The most earnings I ever had was in 2007 on the 5th of April, the end of the tax year when I was employed. My earnings were 257k. On the 10th of April, I was admitted to the Priory in Bristol because I was completely burnt out, stressed out, workaholic, alcoholic, and totally flawed. Like completely, because I had prostituted my purpose for somebody else's goals, working 18-hour days for 7 years solid, and made them rich, and I had lost myself completely. So for me, the big money does not equal big self-esteem. There's a balance. Equally, being skint and doing everything for free, that doesn't work either. Okay, so we're here together to establish balance. And we're going to move on now to help you with your purpose. Even if you've already defined it, there's nothing wrong with revisiting this stuff. Great leaders, the most successful of us, were always revisiting this stuff. So, once again, and I will repeat myself a lot, you'll get used to it, and sometimes you might say to Paul, shut up, we've heard it, move on. That's fine. Everything I do is focused on helping you to get paid what you are worth for doing what you most love to do. Now, to start with, I've yet to get a really intimate knowledge of what everybody does, but I'll get that. I've got a really intimate knowledge of what Ron does and what Paul does, and I've already had a little look at everybody else's meetup profile, but it's limited information like with all of us, so I get to really get to know you. But what you most love to do, it really, really is important that you're doing this for a reason. Real reason to help others to avoid something you've experienced, or because you just love something so much. If it's somebody who started out in a cake shop, they've been working behind a desk, as a secretary for 15 years, and it's just like does not light them up, and they're thinking, is this my life? Is this it? Is this it? I want to start a cake shop. I love baking. I love my little creations, and I'd love to have a little cake shop and to do stuff for people's and personalised cakes, and see people come in and go, oh, isn't that lovely? He'd love that. She'd love that. Then that's perfect. That's your purpose. To bring. It's not about cakes. It's about happiness. It's about occasions. It's about life. So these are the things I want to tap into first today. Make sense? Hopefully it does. And I've put in a little. I don't know whether you can see it, but I've put in a little quote under there. And Alan Watts is somebody who I really love to listen to. You know, when I have some time in the car, or I'm going to bed at night and I'm not really ready to sleep and I want to drift off to something, I'll get on YouTube and I'll play one of my Alan Watts. This is a 20th century kind of English philosopher. Some of the stuff he observed about life was terrific, and this is one I love. This is the real secret of life, to be completely engaged with what you are doing in the here and now. And instead of calling it work, realize it's play. I think that's just beautiful. So the secret of life, to be so engaged completely in what we're doing in the here and now, that instead of calling it work, we realize it's play. See, that's beautiful. And play doesn't mean that it's not serious. It's that it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like labor. Labor is when we're working for somebody else's goals and all we're getting is a paycheck. That proves that money isn't work. We search for fulfillment. So when we're doing something for our purpose, where we're fulfilled, we get the fulfillment first when we transform and help others, then we get the money second. That's the relationship. I'd lost that in 2007. I'd lost that. I chased the money first, thinking the money and the external stuff would give me fulfillment. The complete opposite effect. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Now that's fairly small, my end. So, is it small your end? So maybe I should make that a full size. How's that? Just tell me if you can read that, okay, guys, or if I need to make it. Look, oh, it's full size your end. Okay, that's cool. Now, first thing, let's cover, and we've only got 13 slides today, and coming up after this slide is an exercise for you guys to do. So this slide is, you've got a bit more of me, and then there's an exercise for you. Now, whatever we have as our product, okay, let's just take a few minutes on this. Whatever, and by the way, we've got 50, yes, this is being recorded right now, and it'll be in the group, Patricia. Excuse me. We got 52 weeks together, and yeah, I'll even be doing it over Christmas. I don't even know whether Christmas is a Saturday. But we got 52 weeks together. Every week will be different, okay? Every week will be focused, but be different. We're not going to do just loads of repetition of the same thing. And as we go through and become more and more progressive and working together and close and get to know each other, you'll start putting in the group, Paul, can you do more of this week? Can you do more of this? And I'll begin to gear the weekly sessions half to what you've said you want more of, and half to what I intrinsically know you need more of. Okay? So that's the way it'll progress. So if we look at the top, in the middle, human needs. You see, whatever it is that we are going to sell as our product, okay, whatever it is that our product is, our physical product. We've looked at purpose, now we're going to just take a look at product. Whatever it is, there's a lot of talk about B2B, business to business, and B2C, business to consumer, and all that kind of stuff. The bottom line is, I've sold 57 million quid's worth of product in my career. 57 million. I'm not trying to be clever, it's just what I've sold. It doesn't matter whether you've sold 300 quid or 57 million. But I've sold 57 million, and I've helped and coached others to sell over $250 million. And I've never sold to a business. And I've never sold to a consumer. There's never been like a business. I don't even know a business or a consumer, a little animal that consumes. I've always sold to people. People have bought from me. And this is the most important thing. It's all P2P, person to person. I've heard in those who are more spiritually minded call it H to H, heart to heart, or mind to mind, but it's person to person. So if we think, oh, well, the B2B arena is a bit difficult than the B2C arena, you've lost the plot. You're getting all thinky. And, that's thinky is not going to help you fulfill your purpose. Well, B2C is different to B2B. It's navel gazing. Okay. Yes, the furniture is different when you're in a business environment with a person. It's the same meat but different gravy than when you're in somebody's house, or when you're selling on a market stall, or when you're in a shop and people are coming in to get their hair done. I wouldn't know. I can't remember the last time I had a blue ring so perm, but you know what I mean. So it's all person to person. Never confuse the fact that I'm in the B2B arena. I'm in the B2B. You're selling to people, okay? And your product fulfills human needs. So which does your product fulfill? And here's the important thing. People think it's just about their product. It's about you and your product. Me and my product. My sales coaching is, I've never claimed to be the best in the world, and I never would. It's of no interest to me. And I don't need to sell to everybody who needs sales coaching. And I won't. I don't even need to sell to everybody that really desperately needs it who comes to me. What will happen is the people who should be working with me, the people who resonate with my personality, my values, my beliefs, my message, my motives, my purpose, the people that believe what I believe and need sales coaching will buy from me. So it's about you and your purpose and values and which human needs you and your product fulfills. Does it make sense so far? Tap in yes if it does. If it doesn't, tap in no. So let's just have a look. Let's go to the left now of the screen, where we've got the human hand reaching out. We are creatures of energy and we're social animals. Extroverts extrovert their thinking, introverts introvert their thinking, but in terms of people, we all need people. And when we're isolated and on our own, we feel like a separate fragment, alone in our own mind, in our own head. I had a great phrase about isolation. I don't go into my own mind alone. It's like a bad neighborhood. It's like a dangerous neighborhood. Never go there alone. We all are most alive when we're working with other people. So your clients, your potential clients, the people you're going to transform, metaphorically, they have their hand out, wanting connection. They want them. We don't automatically show this stuff, when you're networking or whatever. People don't have a sign saying, I need help, I feel lonely. I show you that I'm really confident, but beneath that, my self-esteem is low, and I'm desperate to make some money, and I'm here tonight because I just love to meet someone else like me. My products are really good, but I'm frightened of being rejected. If everybody wore a sign like that, do you know what? I think everybody would automatically the barriers would drop, because that's kind of how we all feel in some respects. But there's this social contract, this social pretense, this social kind of barrier, which is we don't show that we need this stuff. So that what we need to understand as conscious entrepreneurs, as purpose-driven entrepreneurs, is that everybody we meet and come into contact with us has an internal journey going on. And they have some unmet human needs. So let's just look at them. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs in the blue triangle. So I don't pretend that this is mine. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's stood the test of time. And let's just talk through it. What it does is it shows us that the first thing we need is the physiological needs: food, water, and sleep. That's kind of what we need to live. Okay, so we on this call, everybody has food, water, and sleep. Even if you didn't have a good night's sleep last night, we have that. Some people in some parts of the world don't have that. So they're not interested in getting on a seminar or a webinar or signing up to Paul's course or your course because they haven't got food, water, and can't sleep or don't have a place to sleep. So the first thing is knowing that each level must be satisfied before we then aspire to a higher level. Make sense? So if we go to, I don't know, if we go to a country that is where the people are seriously, they haven't got their physiological needs met, there is no point trying to sell them a networking membership because they haven't got their more basic needs met. And this is really important. So firstly, we need our physiological needs met: food, water, sleep. The second thing, once we have that, is we need safety. A roof over our head, an immediate environment in which the body is safe, in which we feel safe. Now, on a larger basis, it's a community where there's a feeling of safety. It's it's the policing in society. It's the structures around us which protect us. That's what we then want. So, yep, I'm fed, I'm watered, I've got somewhere safe to sleep. I have an environment which is safe. Now I've got all that. The next thing we crave is love and belonging. Okay, so we crave a relationship, a romantic relationship, or a friendship. So there's belonging, there's connection, there's intimacy. And I don't mean just like sexual or romantic intimacy. I mean intimacy where we really relate to other people. We belong. And that's where things like societies and clubs come in, and gyms, and meeting in coffee shops, and networking, and getting on mastermind groups, and all these kind of things. We want to belong, and it's healthy. We feel great when we belong. We're in a team. We're in a group. And that's what we then aspire to. The next thing, once that's satisfied, is we then go up and we aspire to esteem. Now, esteem is how other people see us. So we want to be seen. This is really important. It's identity. We want to be seen by others in a certain way. So once our physiological needs are met, our safety needs are met, our love and belonging needs are met, then we start to think, okay, we're feeling fairly fulfilled here. We're safe, we're fed and watered, we're in a society where it's safe, we mix, we're in groups, we've got love and belonging, it's all good. Now, how do people see me? Okay, and then it's about identity. Do other people see me in the way I want to be seen? Identity is such a huge driver. And then the very, very peak of the apex of the triangle is self-actualization, and that is living your purpose. That's actually living the purpose, the reason you were put here. Okay. Now, if you can then combine your purpose with your business, you have a killer combination. A killer. And this is why so many businesses fail, especially new start businesses, is because the business is not based on the purpose and self-actualization of the person driving the business. It's based on, if I buy these widgets and then sell these widgets, if I buy this stuff and then sell it, I can mark it up and make a killing. So they have no emotional connection with it helping others. It's goal-driven. It's, I want to make a load of money quick and get out and sit on the beach. That is not purpose-driven. When the going gets tough, they're going to give up and buy another get-rich-quick scheme. Or they're going to go and buy trainings for stuff to help them get rich quick, to help them make some money out of their racket. But if you can combine what you love, what you really love doing and what you're good at, with a purpose and self-actualization where you are helping others to change and transform, and you can get paid for it, you, my friend, are on a winner. And when the going gets tough, you'll stick with it because it's your purpose. Does that make sense? Now, what also happens is if any of these needs crumble, then we also move down a level. So if I've got love and belonging and suddenly there's a riot in the area, then I'm immediately going to go down to safety. And I want to be safe. All of a sudden, love and belonging disappears from my field of vision, and I want to be safe. If I'm thinking about self-actualization and a relationship, and I'm thinking about my purpose and a new project and how I can help people, and a relationship breaks down with somebody that's important, immediately the urge to create and be of value to people and live my purpose is going to just dissolve because I need to sort that relationship out. So our needs go up and down. Yes? Now, what I urge you to consider now is which of those needs does your product fulfill? Now, to help you with this, on the right-hand side under the Stressless Sales Pyramid, what I've done is I've put Atherton's hierarchy of buyers' real needs. And these are it's, if you like, distilled the Maslow's hierarchy down. And it's distilled it down to 3 in terms of buyers' real needs. And the first one is, if you just think of your product now, so just think of your product, whatever it is, the product that you are going to be selling or you already are selling, you want people to buy. The first thing I will think, if you come to me and present your product, I will think, will it make me money or will it save me money? So will I sell more by buying this product or will I save money? That's the first thing. Pragmatic, completely pragmatic. The second thing is, if I save money and make money, that's ticked. Okay, so that's good, tick. The next thing I'll think of is, if I buy this, will I look good? Will I look good? It's really important. So not, if it's buying a new suit or whatever, or buying a new t-shirt, or buying some jewelry, or buying whatever, a pair of training shoes, it's like, well, they look nice, I like them. Do they look good? Or do I look like a tosser? So that's a very basic. It's will other people sitting in business. A lot of the times it's about will the boss, will the directors, will my colleagues, like this will save us money, but how will it go down with the boss? Will I look good? That's a big decision. Sometimes when we're selling and the person we're selling to isn't buying and we're thinking, why aren't they need this? They've told me they do. This is like, they can afford it. And it's because they're thinking, oh, I might not look good. Yeah, logically it's good, but I might not look good. Does this make sense? So you need to be able to also position it in a way that they're going to look good in the eyes of others by taking action with you. And the third one, the ultimate, is, will I feel good? And that's self-esteem. Now, on the right there, you've got a little kind of ladder which says the financial or the practical. Will I make money? Will I save money? And the second one, identity. Will I look good? And the third one, self-esteem. Will I feel good? Now, if you can combine all 3, you've hit the jackpot. You've got a winner. For me, my product, I will always be considering, thinking, right, okay, what does my product do? What do me and my product do? What human needs does it fulfill? Well, I look at the left-hand side, and I think, well, I help entrepreneurs to get paid for doing what they most love. And I bring entrepreneurs into groups together, and we learn together with me as kind of teacher sort of thing, but, you know, facilitator, and we learn together. And they grow and transform. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I'm hitting every level if I do this well enough. I'm hitting the physiological needs because they're going to be making money from their business and getting paid. I'm going to be, and safety needs. I'm going to be hitting the love and belonging because they're in a group. There's intimacy, there's relationships, there's belonging. I'm going to be hitting their esteem because the better and more successful they do and the more people they transform, the more people are going to want to come to them. They're going to be seen in the right way. You'll get a reputation for helping others. You'll get a reputation for being successful. You get a reputation for not being an aggressive salesperson, but you get a reputation as someone who solves and transforms other people's problems, and you will be working from purpose. So your self-actualization will always be active, will always be being met. That need will be being fueled. So then when I take that and I put it on the right, and I think, okay, does my product help people make money? Yes. Unquestionably. Does it help them save money? Yes, because they won't need to buy another training ever again. They don't need to go on these weekends where you get weekends and all the thousands of people, and then this guy comes on all shiny and glossy and sells thousands of pounds worth of stuff, and everybody runs to the back of the room and gives their credit cards over, or whatever. You will not need another sales training if you engage fully and give everything to this. So it's going to save you money in the future, and it's going to start helping you make money now. Great. Will you look good? Yes, because your business will be flourishing. For the right reasons. Because people will be going out saying, do you know what, that Patricia, do you know what, that Owen, that Debrina, that Andrea, do you know that Paul, they're really good people. Do you know Steve, do you know Thomas? You should work with them. They're really good people. This is what they help me to do. So you're going to look good. Your reputation is going to be in line with your purpose. And will you feel good? Don't even need to answer that. If you've got the money and you've got the good reputation, and you're transforming other people, you're going to feel good. Now, that's a killer combination. Now, also, just before we go on to this next slide, where it's now over to you to do some action. The key is this. You do not have to sell to everybody who needs your product. You're not going to. What you will do is by doing this right, using the stressless sales method, the people who need your product and who believe what you believe will buy from you. People who will buy from you are those that believe what you believe, who like your values, who have the same values, and relate to you personally, and then need what you have, those people. And if you can nail these needs, these human needs, and you can really come from that, you've hit the jackpot. And that is my experience, and that is a fact. Any questions on that slide before we move on, team? Okay. Now this is over to you. Persuasion. What is persuasion? Persuasion is getting somebody to do something for you. Is that right? Type it in. Persuasion is getting somebody to do something for you. Is that right? It's wrong. It's not right. Persuasion is getting somebody to do something for them. That's persuasion. See, this is when 90% of people get it wrong. Persuasion's not. I tricked you there. And that's purposeful as well. So I'll do that occasionally. You'll soon cotton on. You just won't answer. Persuasion is not getting somebody to do something for me. Because the only person that's going to do something for me is me. You're not going to do something for me until you know and like and trust me. But even then you're doing it for yourself because you know that by helping me, you're going to see me transform and be grateful and your self-esteem is going to go up. So you're not going to do something for somebody else. Persuasion is not getting you to do something for me. You want to persuade me? You don't try and get me to do something for you. You get me to try and do something for me. Okay? So, remember that. Just remember that one. Persuasion is not trying to get somebody to do something for you. It's to get them to do something for themselves, because that's why they'll act. They'll act for them, not for us. And that's purpose again. So, here are the 5 questions, and I'd like you to just take a piece of paper, and I'd like you just to write them down. So, what are you trying to sell? When I say trying, what I mean is, what do you sell? So if you just write that down on your piece of paper. Number 1, what do you sell? Or what are you going to sell? Because I know Anne she is on the call, has got her secret project that she's going to reveal to us when she's ready to. She's got the domains and stuff. So you don't have to share this with us on the screen. But just write down, what is the product? What are you going to sell? Number 2, to who? I want you to write the kind of person. What kind of person is going to be the one that you're trying to sell it to? Selling my services, that part is not a secret. Cool. So when you're writing this down for yourself now, you write down what your services are. And who's going to buy them? What kind of person? Thirdly is why. Why have you decided that you want to sell this stuff to this kind of person? Why are you, everybody, why have you decided that you want to sell this particular thing to this particular kind of person? Number 4 is, how will they change or transform after this product or service has done its job? So after they've bought it, and after it's worked, how will they have changed and transformed? And finally, or penultimately, how do you feel when you see this change or transformation take place? So you know the products you're going to sell. You know who you're going to sell them to. You know why you want to sell them. You know why you want to sell this product to this person. There's a reason behind it, why you've chosen this product and you've chosen this audience. What's the reason? Then how will they change or transform as a result of using your product? As a result of, once the product's done its job, whatever you sell, once they've had and tasted and used the product, how will they change or transform? And the question, 4th question, how do you feel when you see this transformation happen? Patricia's just put, you mean through what procedure? Yep, I'm going to do one example in a minute, and Patricia, I think that'll be answered. If not, we'll answer it. Okay, now the final one in red there is just in case what you're trying to sell is different to what you really should be selling. So for instance, if what I put down is I'm trying to sell sales coaching to entrepreneurs, and the reason is because I don't want entrepreneurs to fail. I want them I want to sell, this is the specific. I want to sell sales coaching to entrepreneurs who are doing what they love and they want to get paid for it. They want to make a business out of what they love and get paid for it. Why? Because I believe that this one life is to be spent doing what we love and getting paid for it. That's what I sincerely believe. And the journey I went on took me to the highest and the lowest possible imaginable depths. The highest peaks, the lowest valleys. And I don't have to have the highest peaks in order to be fulfilled. And the lowest valleys, I don't want anybody else to have to go there. So that's why I do it. How do they change or transform? They thoroughly enjoy what they do at every level. They get paid what they are worth, and they feel fulfillment. How do I feel when I see this transformation? I feel just such gratitude, feeling tense gratitude that I've been able to help somebody else. I feel authentic confidence, I feel authentic pride, but most of all I feel gratitude. My self-esteem goes up, I feel connection with that other person. That's what it does. And the final thing is like a check for me. So what are they really buying? This is so important. What are they really buying? I'm trying to sell sales coaching, but they're not buying sales coaching. What are they buying? They're buying a feeling. What, a feeling of what? Hope? A feeling of confidence, trust. They're buying guidance. They're buying that feeling. It's hope. It's belief. It's trust. It's confidence. It's those things. So those are the things I should be selling. So many people just go out and say, what do you do? I'm a coach. I sell cakes. I do this. I do that. I do the other. We describe what we do. What we really should be selling is the outcome. So now that you've had a little go at that, let's just do an example. Okay? Let's just do an example. So who would like to, Patricia said the question's been answered. Right, who'd like to do one? Who'd like to open up the mic and do an example? And come on the camera. Not all at once, because I know I'm going to be stampeded here. Ron, okay? Ron, so I'll unmute you, Ron, and if you can put your camera up.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Do you want to put your camera up?
Hello?
Hello, Ron. Right, I'm going to take my camera off. So now you have the screen.
Okay. All right. So I'm selling debt services, debt consultancy services. To who am I selling it? I'm selling it to small business owners who need to get paid on time. Why am I doing this? Well, I help them save money in their business to release their frustration. How will they change or transform? Well, release of pressure, feeling of happiness, that they just feel more at ease with themselves and they can get on and do better things, get on to do what they love, i.e. selling the product. How do I feel when they see transformation? I feel elated. I feel happy that they're happier, that they've got all the stress and it's taken away from them. So what are they really buying from me? Well, they're buying the trust, my knowledge, my experience, and the confidence that they can get on and do better things.
Thank you, Ron.
Thanks.
Stay on.
Okay.
That's terrific. Well done for being the first one to start.
No problem.
Now, let's just look at the bottom.
Yeah.
They are not buying debt counseling.
No.
They are buying something else. They're buying a feeling. What's that feeling?
the buying from me, the buying.
Okay, let me help you.
Okay.
And by the way, it's great. You've done well. This is why this exercise is so good. When we're in debt, how well do we sleep at night?
Not at all.
When these people, you know, when we've got manageable debt,
Yeah.
we're fine. But when we're in serious shit with debt, how well do we sleep at night?
Most of my clients don't. They just draw
And then during the day, yeah.
They don't.
And then during the nobody does. And during the day, how many times do we think about the debt and feel bad?
Many times over.
Yeah.
Nearly all the time, because it's stuck in the back of the head. And they're
It's
like,
my
well, I don't know
constant.
what to do. Yeah.
It's our constant companion.
Subconsciously,
When that yeah. So when somebody takes that away, what are we left with?
well, when once that pain is taken away, it's just pain at the end of the day, and then it's relief. The relief that they
Yes.
feel within themselves.
Absolutely, relief. Which then means that that thought is not on our mind. So we have what do we have?
We feel more happier,
Yes.
and we feel
3 words, it finishes with mind. Something of mind. Help him out, the guys, tap it in. Something of mind. That's it, peace of mind. What they are buying is peace of mind.
okay. Well, thank you, guys.
I discovered, I'll tell you a little story about that in a second. They are buying peace of mind. A quiet mind that doesn't torture them and make them feel bad for the mess they've got into. That is worth so much. They're buying support. So it's fulfilling their belonging needs, it's fulfilling their safety needs, it's fulfilling their esteem needs, because they think everybody who knows I'm in debt, they see me as this pathetic person who's in debt, so they feel that they're seen in a bad way. It ultimately threatens their physiological needs if they're in debt.
Yeah.
Because they can't afford to some of the basics.
Yeah.
And there's no way they're going to be self-actualized. But if that's removed, then all those human needs can thrive. Yeah?
Yeah.
So your product hits every single need. Now finally, your why. Why have you chosen, of all the jobs, all the careers, to build a business around? Why have you chosen debt cancelling?
Right. 2 things really. One is I've been doing this for such a long period of time. So I've got the know-how and the experience. Been doing it for 12 years. Secondly, and please don't share this with anyone else, I've actually fallen into myself. So I can empathise and I can sympathise with individual and person's needs. And those are the 2 main reasons why I've chosen to set this up to help other people get themselves out of this debt situation.
Perfect. And nothing is shared
Thank you.
elsewhere. This is totally confidential. And I too have experienced debt.
Yeah.
A lot of debt I've experienced. And I know the feelings. And I dare say that other people on the call have as well. And may well be working their way through it. But it is external. It is not who we are. It's a temporary circumstance. And what you can do is you can bring relief from suffering. And as Steve Cole has put, support enabling you to get on with your business. And as Paul has put, peace of mind. Now you're feeling strong?
Yes.
Let's go to the next slide.
Thank you.
I now want to work on these three things. Purpose statement, your brand, and your mantra. And this is just for fun. I'm not suggesting you change your brand.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm just going to mute your mic for a second. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. Ron, it appears that I've killed the camera as well. So, first of all, thank you so much for doing that, for being the first in the group to say, come on, I'll have a go. And that's so cool. That in itself is such a metaphor for this program and for growth. But what we've done there is we've really taken a look at what we sell. Persuasion is not trying to get somebody to do something for us. It's getting somebody to do something for them. What are we trying to sell? Well, what are we selling? Selling debt counseling. To who? People who are in the shit. People who have got debt and they're like, I can't negotiate with the creditors. I can't pay all the payments. What do I do? It's torturing me day and night, or it's coming back and haunting me. I can't run away. I want to deal with it, and I don't know where to turn. Why are you doing that? Because you have had the experience. You know how it feels. And you also know how it feels when you get through it. How do they change or transform? It's the end of torture. Their self-esteem can rise now to the right level because they're no longer associated with, I'm a bad person, I've got into this debt, yeah, etc. Their human needs can now be freed to be fulfilled. They sleep better. They're more playful. There's less weight on their shoulders and there's less on their mind. So they change or transform because they have peace of mind and relief. You said relief. It's such a good one. You know, it's like if we've got an ache. You know, we've got a really bad headache and we take a tablet. And when it goes and there's clarity, there's such relief. Oh, that is what you see when you solve the problems. And when they say to you, Ron, thank you so much. You don't know the difference this has made to my life. You feel elated. Elation. If we could live a life of elation, would we settle for that? God, it's what we all chase, fulfillment. But those who chase elation just as an intense feeling turn to drink, drugs, addictions, behaviors. But what we're actually doing here is we're using purpose where we transform somebody else through our product or service in our business to get paid, to bring relief to them, to bring fulfillment to them, to serve their human needs. And when we see that transformation, we feel elation. That is our purpose. That's why we're here. That's society. So what do they really buy? They're buying peace of mind. They're buying freedom. They're buying the ability to move on with their life. They're buying improved self-esteem. Yeah? So let's now move on. And Ron, I was going to ask you to do that for yourself, but I'd like everybody to have a go at this. So this is exercise number 2, and it's again just for you. So you take, what are you selling, to who, why have you chosen this job, this career, this business? Why have you chosen this product specifically? What is it about your experience in life or the fact that you're just so good at it? What is it that you're really doing it for? How do they change or transform? And how do you feel when you see that change or transformation? So therefore, what is it they're really buying? They're not buying the product. They're not buying the iPhone. They're not buying I'm just picking up some products off my desk. They're not buying the iPhone. They're buying coolness. They're buying service. They're buying the ability to communicate all on one item, easily, simply. You know, what are they buying? Are they buying an e-cigarette? No, they're buying a feeling of peace of mind and hope and that they will be able to give up cigarettes and not die of cancer, not have heart disease. Yes, what else? They're not buying a digital recorder. Hello, would you like to buy a digital recorder? What they're buying is, I won't forget my best ideas, which means that I'll always be able to remember my greatest inspirations. I won't forget them. The ability to remember. And the feeling that gives us. So whatever the product is, there's a feeling behind it. There's a reason beyond the product. So the thing I now want you all to do is, and this is the hopefully the first key breakthrough. Write your own purpose statement now, and it doesn't matter. You're not all going to share it. I'm going to ask somebody else. Maybe I'll ask Ron to do his, and then maybe somebody else if they want to. What's your purpose statement then? You see, my purpose statement, if we go right the way back to slide 1, is everything I do is focused on helping others to get paid what they are worth for doing what they most love in life. Doing what they most love to do. To make it more specific, everything I do is focused on helping entrepreneurs to get paid what they are worth for doing what they most love to do in life. That's my purpose statement. It doesn't mention sales coaching. Doesn't need to. Write yours down. Write down your purpose statement. Just take a moment to do that. And when you've done so, if whoever would like to share theirs, the purpose statement, just type in me. Steve Cole, brilliant. Anybody else? Okay, Steve, I'm going to unmute you. Patricia, typing is enough? Yes, absolutely. So Patricia, you type yours in. And Steve Cole, I'm going to unmute. And if you'd like to... Oh, Steve, you need to unmute yourself because you've muted. So if you unmute yourself and bring your webcam up, Steve. Can you unmute yourself, Steve? And bring your webcam up. Not working. Okay, on the mobile. Okay, understood. Do you want to type it in? That'd be cool. And then Ron, type yours in, and Patricia. Anybody else? You can all do it if you wish, but you don't have to if you'd like to just watch. That's fine. Okay, thank you, Steve. We've got, I help business owners and entrepreneurs clearly create more profit with meaning. Get them to the next stage. My purpose, Patricia. Well, thank you, Steve. That's it. You're clearly defining the outcome. rather than saying I'm a mentor. You're describing outcomes, and that's perfect. And Patricia, my purpose is to help people to succeed in life and be happy. Whatever being happy, whatever they desire or they think makes them happy. So I'll just help you with that because we're like 99% there with that one. It's to help people find out what happiness means to them and then to help them create it. Tricia is a counsellor, and I remember chatting with you. I remember chatting with most of you. All of you, in fact. As a counsellor, your purpose is to help people decide what it is makes them happy and to then help them to create that in their life. Make sense? That's a very powerful purpose. Thomas. So they're all coming in now. This is cool. Thomas, I help people to become who they want to be and to live the life they will love. Wow. You see, you're really hitting on something there. Who they want to be, that's identity and self-esteem. See, these things are so key. I help them be who they want to be, i.e. the real person, the real self, the person they were born to be, the person that's always been trying to get out but has felt the need to conform to society, who's been imprisoned by the need, the feeling, the apparent need to adopt a certain role, adopt a certain identity, but that person inside, the one that longs to do whatever it is dying to get out. And they need somebody to help them get out and live the authentic life, to be what they want to be, to live the life they want, they will love. And that's much better than saying I'm a coach, I'm a life coach, I'm a mentor. Because when we meet somebody at networking and they say I'm a life coach, it's like saying I'm a sales coach. There's just automatic assumptions. But if we say, I help people, what do? I help people to really become who they really are and to become who they really want to be and to live the life that they love. That's what I do. What do? That's so much more powerful. It's compelling. Great stuff, Steve. Great stuff, Thomas. Ron, to get out of my comfort zone, to help and change the way I get others to alleviate the stresses from financial issues that they have accumulated. Okay, that's got so much in it, and it's really cool. Okay, to get out of my comfort zone is about you. Purpose can't be about you. So that's something that you have as it's part of your purpose, but that one we keep behind the scenes. So it's like in order to achieve your purpose, you need to stay out of your comfort zone. Got it. But that's not in our stated purpose. We keep that quiet. We keep that silent. That's what we know our accountability buddy or our coach has to help us with, getting out of our comfort zone. Others. I get others to alleviate the stresses from financial issues that they have accumulated. Let's just try and help you simplify that because I know how important this is to you. So I would say everything I do is focused on helping people get freedom from the torture of debt and have total peace of mind. Everything I do is focused on giving people freedom from torture, might be a strong word, freedom from the punishment of debt, freedom from the cycle of debt. That's probably a little bit better. Everything I do is focused on giving people freedom from the cycle of debt, giving them peace of mind so that they can move forward in their life. That's wow. What do you do, Ron? Oh, look, everything I do is focused on helping people to get out of the cycle of debt and give them freedom from that so they've got peace of mind and can move on with their life. What do? That's so powerful. Someone comes on and says, tell me about your debt services. You say, okay, well, let me just say that my purpose is to get people out of the cycle of debt, to free them, give them freedom from debt, and to give them complete peace of mind so that they can move on with their life. Is that what you want? Oh, yeah. How many debt counselors are going to say that? They're not. They're going to say, yes, how much debt are you in? I've got this form, this questionnaire. Right, who is it you owe money to? They just go through this intellectual exercise, which makes them feel even worse. Yes, so you start with purpose. Makes sense, Ron? Tricia, I mean, it could be business or family or love or self-actualization. Yes, absolutely. Tricia, powerful. Ron, yep, sounds clear. So it's about evolving that. And then if we then take that further, it's then, okay, what should the brand be? And what should the strapline be? Because brands and straplines are really important. They either need to be completely simple and they state the outcome and memorable, or they need to be emotional. Now, if we look at, if you can all type in your favorite brands, and I'm not suggesting a change of branding, but some of you may wish to do it as a result of this. Just type in your favorite, everybody, let's just go for this now. Just type in your favorite brands. Ron said Nike. Right, I want you to tell me what it is about Nike that appeals to you. So put your brand, type your brands in, your favorite brands. The ones that you're loyal to, the ones that you buy repeatedly. The ones that when it comes to a certain drink, a certain phone, a certain car, a certain makeup, a certain aftershave, a certain perfume, a certain clothing, a certain whatever. What is it that you're loyal to? What brands do you really like? And I want you to type in why. So what is Nike? So Ron, you typed in Nike. What does Nike do for you? Got BMW. Just do it, that strapline. You've got Coca-Cola. So I also want you to type in what it is about the brand emotionally. Because there's an emotional reason. What is it emotionally when you buy Nike, when you buy BMW, when you buy Coca-Cola? What is it that you're actually buying rather than buying Tesco's Cola? Or rather than buying Adidas? Or rather than buying a Ford or a Mercedes instead of a BMW? Or buying a Android phone, a Samsung instead of a Apple phone? Or whatever else. Buying Giorgio Armani Diamonds perfume rather than buying Boots' own or Asda's own perfume or whatever else. Just type them in, folks. BMW, ultimate driving machine. Yes, you love them. Steve has got Steve Cole Gore. Is that Gore-Tex? Is that what you mean? It's the tick. Get up and go. So does Nike mean energy for you, Ron? Oh, Patricia, share with mum, dad, bro, mate. That's Coca-Cola. So it's memories, it's togetherness, it's connection, yes? The best driving car and the quality doesn't suffer. So how does that make you feel? Apple, class. Right, we're saying class. You like class. That's a feeling, it's prestige. Apple is also considered cooler, even though it's more expensive and arguably less functional, although I don't know whether the 6 is as functional. But I think the general feeling with Android users is like Apple, welcome to 2012. It's like they're way ahead, but Android are in functionality, but Apple is more expensive as well, but it's kind of seen as cooler, and the service, if you go into an Apple shop, is so this is like we buy for emotional reasons. Best color in the world, it really is. So you're saying that with conviction. Apple, quality, lifestyle. Own Gore-Tex, yeah. See, what does Gore-Tex mean to you? BMW makes me feel secure. Fine, that's safety. And prestige. Driving a BMW, there'll be a part of you that says, I want to be seen to be driving a BMW. So that's you're buying into identity. That's the human need that's being fulfilled by that. Gore-Tex is great for exercise, quality, looks great, lasts, freedom, running, perfect running. It's okay. So there's a lot of quality in there. Looks great, identity again. So it's feeling, freedom, feeling. Freedom is key in the human needs. Sportiness with BMW and Nike and prestige. So we're getting feelings. This is what it is. So therefore, if we were to rename our brand, what would we have as our name and strapline to make it powerful? I did this exercise. Sabrina's saying the sound has gone. Is the sound is just with Sabrina, or is the sound okay? Let me know. Sounds okay for everybody else. So just stick with it, Sabrina, and hopefully we'll come back for you. I've been doing some work with some businesses, some individual businesses lately, and changed their branding, and their strapline, and it's more about their why. For instance, if I was to change mine, stressless sales gets you to yes with less stress. Quite nice, quite kind of light, quite memorable. I would actually, I would rebrand. I would certainly keep the stressless in there, but I would probably lose the jingliness of gets you to yes with less stress. What I would probably do is I would build this in. I would want to reflect in that. Get paid to do what you love. Paid to play, paid. It would be something like that, and it would be something to do with entrepreneurs. So it would be stresslesspreneurs, something like that maybe. The stresslesspreneur, get paid to do what you love. It'd be something like that, which stresslesspreneur, there's immediately, and I haven't planned this is just thinking, it's like stresslesspreneur, right, it sounds like I want to be one of them. Get paid to do what you love as the strapline. Wow, yeah, that's why. See, that's what I'd probably do, and not mention sales at all, because mentioning sales possibly puts some people off. So have a think about how you. So Ron, is your current strapline is I help businesses get paid on time. See, that's really good. Okay. And again, I'm not suggesting you change it. But what I'm thinking about is let's try and get to motion, outcome. Let's try and get to some emotion in there. So I would say freedom from something, or something about peace of mind maybe. I'm just doing this, guys, to give you some reflection around how you can brand. First of all, you create your purpose. You take a deep look at what it is that you're selling, to whom and why. You take a deep look at how they change and transform. You take a look again at what you're really selling. You then write your purpose statement and get it dead clear and make it your mantra on your website, your letterhead, your business card, your email sign-ups, everything. That's your business mantra. And then you think, okay, is my business branded correctly? Does it actually clearly state my purpose? Am I starting with that? Is the mantra, and is what I'm saying, the name, the brand, the strap line, is it getting an emotional connection, or does it just describe something thinky or intellectual? Does that make sense? You need to have a think about that. So this is kind of reflective. Okay, let's move on. We're into the last half an hour now, everybody. And time flies. Now, every week, what I'm going to do for you, now we've done a few exercises, I'm going to give you some more content. Every week what I'm going to do is we're going to take a look during our legacy of learning at the IOU ASAP of stressless sales. Okay? And what I'm going to do now is take a little look at that for the next kind of 10-15 minutes, and then we're going to summarize with any questions and answers, and then I'm going to give you your task to complete during the week, and then we're going to just sort of wrap up with what's going to happen next in the group and next week's meeting and that kind of thing. Okay? Good stuff. So we're going to do every week we're going to touch on IOU ASAP, and I'm going to give you a golden nugget for every single one of them every week, and it will be a different golden nugget every week. So, I is our inner game. It's the starting point of any success. How we think determines how we feel, determines how we act, determines our behavior, which determines our results, which determines how we think, which determines how we feel, which determines how we behave, which determines our results, which determines how we think. We've got to start with the inner game. And the inner game, principally, our mental, emotional game, falls off when we are in fear. That's the I. Now, we can cover a lot more than just fear, but I want you to write down privately for you now what your number one fear is about selling your services. Now, you can type them in to share if you wish, or you can write it privately. So whilst you're doing that, because it's your own exercise, outer game. The outer game is where our body and our body-mind meets the world. Okay? So the inner game is how we think and feel. Our outer game is how we behave, how our body meets the world. And the habits and the behaviors that we're in. Because self-esteem cannot be thought into action. Thought into being, rather. We cannot think ourselves into a new way of feeling. You can't, a new way of being. You can't think yourself into self-esteem. It can't be done. We know it's false. I think I'm great. I'm great. Affirmations, affirmations. If we don't believe them, we don't believe them. End of. Actions determine our self-esteem. That's fact. It's not Paul's theory. It's fact. How we act determines our self-esteem. We secretly know our every move. So if our every move, if they're all in line with our inner values, our self-esteem is healthy. If our every move is out of whack with our inner values, our self-esteem is low. So the outer game, what I first want to cover, it's a lot more than self-esteem. It's about energy, it's about goal setting, it's about achievement, it's about fitness, it's about health and feeling good and all of that, the outer game, before we even go to the sales situation. It's about having the right energy. But first I want to cover self-esteem because it's our greatest asset or our biggest enemy, depending if it's healthy or unhealthy. So what I want you to now write down is, just name one thing that you would either like to stop doing because you've told yourself, I've got to stop doing this because it's hurting your self-esteem, or something that you've promised yourself you're going to do more of. I really need to do more of because it's hurt my self-esteem. I'll give you an example, okay, for me. Stop smoking, okay? Now, you could pull my leg and say, well, you haven't really stopped smoking if you've got one of these. But I no longer smoke 20 Marlboro menthols a day, okay? Because by doing this, I have now got rid of all these chemicals that really do the damage. And this will help me to then reduce my addiction to nicotine so that I don't have to go down the road of my father and end up with heart disease and all of high blood pressure and all the rest of it. So that's something that I made a decision After years of saying, I really should cut down, I really should cut down, I really should cut down, I really should stop. Now I've made a massive decision, and it's about 5, 6 weeks now. My self-esteem has risen, or it's got healthier around that. So that's something I wanted to stop doing with smoking. Something I wanted to start doing was I wanted to start doing some exercise. Because when I first stopped smoking, I stopped dead without going on to this, and I put on a load of weight. Now, I'm not naturally big, but as I get older, my metabolism, I'm 43 now, my metabolism slowed down a wee bit, and I can just put loads of weight on all the carbs and all the rest of it. So I need to exercise. So I've started a morning exercise routine, and it takes 15 minutes. That's all. But it's been in place now for about 7 or 8 weeks, every morning. So those are 2 things that have helped my self-esteem. Now, what's this got to do with sales? What? What has self-esteem got to do with sales? We don't buy off a salesperson if they've got low self-esteem. We buy off people who bring an energy which is healthy self-esteem, because we want to match that. We want healthy self-esteem. So this is about the things that we either want to start doing or stop doing. I want you to just write down the 1 or 2 things. The 1 thing you want to stop, the 1 thing you want to start. So by now, you've named a fear, the most dominant fear about selling, and then you've named something you'd like to stop doing and start doing, which is the outer game tip for this week. The third one, which is your unique value proposition. Not your unique selling points, not your value proposition, your unique value proposition. 3 elements to that. In fact, there's really 2. There's the uniqueness of you, and then there's your value proposition. So I want you to write down your uniqueness. Just the 1 thing, not 10, 1 thing. And then I want you to describe your value proposition. So I'll give you an example. My uniqueness is, I would say, my energy. My energy, my enthusiasm, my playfulness. I love that. I just love that gift. I'm so grateful to have that. And there was a time I didn't. That's why I'm so grateful for it, because there was a time when I lost it. So that's my uniqueness. Someone works with me, they get energy, enthusiasm, playfulness. I come out of my shell, I bring them out of theirs. That's real. There's like a lack of inhibitions and loads of energy and passion and enthusiasm. I love that. That's my uniqueness. What's my value proposition? Well, I guarantee to all my clients that if you don't get more value in your business show up as a result of working with me than how much it cost, then I continue to coach you for free, or I refund you the money you've paid. So my value proposition is you're going to get whatever you've paid. If you paid 500 quid to work with me, you're going to get more than that in sales and value back. If you've paid 200 quid to work with me, you will get more than that back in extra sales and profit and feel good and emotional value. So that's my value proposition. So what's your uniqueness, your personal uniqueness, and what's the value proposition of you and your product to your clients? Then the story sell. This is, then ask mastery. This is about asking world-class questions. Not just questions of the client like, do you feel you need my product, or what problems are you having? That's not world-class questions. Or where would you like to be in a year's time? That's not world-class questions. World-class questions start with the word if. Master askers use the word if. This is almost a secret because it's just, nobody's pointing at this. Nobody is pointing at this. The word if is magic. It is gold. So whatever your product is, I want you to create an if question. And I'll just give you, we're going to work on all these every week, but I'll just give you one. If I could solve one problem in your business, like the most important problem, the thing that keeps you awake at night, that niggling problem that's costing you time and money. If I could solve that, what would it be worth to you? That's a killer question. If I'm a counselor or a coach or a mentor, let's look at somebody now who needs counseling. I'd say, tell me, if you just think about the thing that is causing you most pain right now, I want you just to think about that thing that causes you the most pain. If we could evaporate that pain, if we could dissolve that pain over 12 sessions so that in 90 days from now, if that pain had evaporated and dissolved and you had a strategy to instantly dissolve it whenever it arises again, if that were the case, what would it be worth to you? If I'm debt counselor and I say, if I could negotiate with your creditors, if I could get them to agree to accept collectively, if I could get them to agree to accept what you can afford so that you have no worries and you can go forward in agreement with your creditors, so what you can afford is collectively what everyone will accept. How would that feel if I could do that? So I want you to create your own if question. Now the story cell. We make this very, very simple. How many testimonials have you got from clients that will tell a story to the client you're in front of? How many video testimonials? How many written testimonials? Or how many true stories can you tell to this client about another person that you have helped to change or transform that had the same problem that this client's got and now is in a much better place? So you can do a before and an after. Do you know, I had a client who was in exactly the situation you are in right now, suffering from the same problems, wanting to get to the same goals. And before they worked with me, this is what it was costing them in time, money, in emotional cost. Now, after working with me, here are the results, and here is a letter from them. Here is an endorsement on LinkedIn. Have a look at this. Here is a video on my site. How many of those have you got? Because getting somebody else who you've changed or transformed to tell the story for you is far more powerful than you telling it yourself. Now, we're going to go into the art of storytelling as the story cell far more over this next year, but I just now want to ask, how many have you got? If the answer is 0, then we need to get at least 1 as quick as possible. How do you do it? Ask for them. When anybody gives you some feedback and says, thank you for that, you really helped me, you say, that's a pleasure, it's what I do. Can I ask you, would you just do a short testimonial for me on LinkedIn or on Facebook or on a letter or on an email that I can use to show other clients who may need just a bit of reassurance? Would you do that? Would you do me a short 30-second video that I could show potential clients? That's how you do it. So that's the only thing we're going to cover today on the story cell. Testimonials are power. True power. Then let's look at the action. There's an old phrase which is always be closing. Action I put in there instead of closing. Always be completing. I prefer the word completing instead of close, because close infers an ending. Close infers something's ending, something's shutting. Whereas when somebody buys from us, we're opening something. We're opening a relationship. We're opening the door to a future. It's the beginning, not the end. So why do we need to close? Why do we need to complete? Well, because very few people, if we just finish our story cell and shut up and go, well, what do you think? Most of them will say, I think it's really good. I want to think about it. I'll get back to you. Yeah, let's have a think about that. Okay, thanks very much. That's why. And you don't want that. And you don't deserve that. Because my job is to get you paid. And if you think about it, and maybes, you won't get paid, because enthusiasm has a half-life. And they'll feel all enthusiastic there and then, and so will you. A day later, it's halved. A day later, that half is halved. A day later, that half of half is halved. A week later, it's all flat. It's gone. We need to get decisions. And not through pressure, through inspiration. So, if I've named my fear and I've worked through it. I've stopped that thing I want to stop doing, started that thing I want to start doing, my self-esteem is improving, I've got my uniqueness and my value proposition in place, I know my world-class if question, I know I have a testimonial, a story I can tell to a client about somebody else who is in exactly their situation, who was before, and now they're in a different place, and this is what it's been worth. So the story validates your value proposition, the story proves your value proposition. And then when it comes to the action, I say to them, right. So I am absolutely 100% that I can solve the problem you said was your biggest problem. And I can get you through it. And then it will be more value than what it costs. And I'm ready to make a commitment to you. I'm delighted to say to do that, the cost is only X. And over the period of X weeks, months, over the time that you will be using that product, the value will be way in excess of that. So, great to do some business with you. Welcome. I look forward to doing business with you. Can I assume we're now ready to go forward together? You're happy to proceed? This is the kind of thing we need to do. It's a completing. It's just a statement. It's just a conclusion statement. We need to work on that. We will be doing. And I want you to now begin to look at this again today and just think, how do you close? How do you complete? How do you complete? Dead easy, right? I believe that it's just like a recap. You told me your biggest problem right now was this, and that if I was able to resolve it, you'd feel this, it would be worth this to you. I've demonstrated exactly how we can do that, and that the value that you will get is greater than the cost. The cost is X, the value you're going to get over time is Y. I suggest we get started straight away so that I can start giving you that value. Are you happy to proceed with me today? Yeah? Even if it's as simple as that. It has to be a complete. It has to be the close. And finally, the P, the payoff. What's this all for again? This is so important. Why are we doing all of this? We're doing it because when they say yes, when you take them to yes, and you use this stuff to get people to yes, you will have less stress in your business. You will be changing and transforming people, and you will be seeing the evidence of that daily. And when you see the change and transformation, your self-esteem is at its healthiest, and you're fulfilled. You're achieving your own self-actualization as well as theirs. Your identity and reputation improves, and as a direct result of all of this, your finances improve, your business improves. The results are that you can get paid to do what you love. So hopefully there you've got some key stuff that you've written down, and you can rerun this again and build yourself the beginnings of the sales process, or fill in the gaps of where you're currently feeling that you may be missing something. We've also got down here, Paul Crimes he's going to put a post in the group later on customers making video testimonials. Okay, questions and answers. We're now at 5 to 12, but time doesn't worry me because I'm not going to end the call without any questions and answers being put forward and dealt with. So it's always get it all out, everything, nothing left unspoken. let's nail it. If there's anything at all from what we've covered today, on the very first call, or there's any questions now about the group or what happens in the week, before I give you your task for the week, now's your time to type them in. Anything at all. Okay, so I'm going to let you type them in, and I'm going to, the final thing now is this week's task. So please type the questions in if you have any questions, and I'm going to put the final thing in, which is this week's task. And this week's task is called 2020 Hindsight List. Okay? So it's called your 2020 Hindsight List. And it's about your inner game. So the exercise this week is an inner game exercise. Okay? Inner game. Think, feel. And it's called 2020 Hindsight because you are going to be looking back in your life at 20 successes you had where you achieved something for yourself. So you're going to be writing a list of the top 20 successes where you achieved something for you and how you felt. And the second 20 is the top 20 situations where you have changed or transformed somebody else and how you felt. So 2020 hindsight, we're looking back at our lives, we're taking 20 things where it's a success we've achieved for ourselves. Okay? Something we've achieved for ourselves. The second list is 20 things, 20 situations in which we have helped somebody else achieve something. We've helped somebody else transform or change, what that is, what it was, and how we felt. Final time. 20 things that we've achieved for ourselves and how we felt. 20 things that we've achieved for somebody else and how we felt. Now do this with your accountability buddy. So you can write your lists and then you can go in private on your Skype or your Messenger or your FaceTime or your phone or whatever, and you can go through, say, how's your list, my list, and you can talk them through. And then what I'd like you to do is post them in the group. Just simply to post the list. You can get a Word document and post them in the group, or you can just type them as a post in the group. But what will happen then is if we say by Friday morning, that then gives you today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and early Friday morning. My suggestion would be to do these in the mornings, because setting yourself up for the day by reminding yourself of successes you've achieved for you and successes you've achieved for others is a really good way to start your day to get you in a good frame of mind. But equally, if you want to do it when you've got reflective time, it needs to be when there's silence, when you can get it, just sit down and have uninterrupted silence, put some soft music on, whatever, but you need to be in a place of peace, in a space of peace to be able to reflect. Work with your accountability buddy on it, even if it's just to tie up and say, right, when are we going to have ours done by so we can run them past each other? And that's where you'll get the unexpected benefits of working with an accountability buddy. Post them by Friday. Now this is going to, again, this is something I've got to share, I've got to write down some stuff. It's again something that's pushing our comfort. A ship in the harbour is safe, but that's not what ships are built for. My job's to get you sailing. Sailing, whatever the condition of the seas, my job is to get you sailing. So, any questions on that task? Hey, this is too easy. I've got no questions. Just how to get an accountability buddy. Steve, it's great. It's just to put in the group. Most people have done a little video. Do a video for a minute along the lines of what the others have done. You know, what you do, your purpose, and the kind of accountability buddy you'd like. Kind of kind of person you'd like to work with you, or just to type it in the group. And Patricia, it's difficult. Yep. It's difficult thinking about doing it, but it's what will happen is when you do this list, and I used to get people to do 100. Paul Crimes, did I get people doing 100? I used to get people doing 100 of these. So what will happen is, as you write, you think about it, 20, and then you get one or two, and then you'll find they start queuing up in your head. But as with all of these things, just do your best. Your best is good enough for me. If you come back in there's 16, 10, 9, whatever, I want you to really try to get 20 of each and post in the group so that then we can comment in the group and how did it feel and what came up for you. It's all about the inner game. What did this bring up for us? You know, we thought, think, and feel. And the relationship between when we do stuff for ourselves and the good feelings, and when we do stuff for others and the good feelings. How does this relate to sales? Judge by results. When you've done the exercise, reflect on that. Right, everybody. It's been the first session. I'd love to get feedback in the group. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. So it doesn't matter what it is. If it's like any comments on the content, you want to say it was good, you want to say we'd like more of this, we'd like more of that, I'm here to serve. I feel that it's, other than the first 2 minutes this morning when I was playing about with the screen, I feel it's gone fairly smoothly technology-wise, and I think the content has worked quite well. I haven't lost anybody. It doesn't appear, but I want you've got to be, in terms of you being my accountability buddies, what you've now got to do is to say, right, we want more of this because we loved it. Can you do this? Can you do more of that? So it's all about working together. Thank you, Steve, saying loved it. I've loved it too. It's been terrific. And we're off and running. We're off and running. Between the session, you've got the Facebook group. Use it. It's totally private. It's totally safe. Everything stays in there. Use it. Engage daily. I will too. And if there's any private offline stuff, then what you do is you can messenger me, because we're also connected on Facebook, or you can email. Okay, and I'll respond at least once a day. I check them all, so I'll respond. Off we go. And thank you for all your good feedback. Have a terrific Saturday, terrific weekend. See you in the group. Thank you.